Welcome back, everybody, to the Anti-Stall Racing IMSA series. Season 11, round 2 today at the Hockenheim ring, back in Germany. Well, we raced at the Nürburgring last season, actually, but back at the Hockenheim ring for the first time in a fair while, and it's a brilliant track. It's great to be back here with a nice mixed grid as well, joined by Alice once again. What are we looking forward to in today's race?
Racing. I didn't think this far ahead, I'll be quite frank. I mean, you know, the Hockenheim ring is one of those tracks where there's a lot of smaller straights, so it should be fairly easy to clear multi-class traffic. But obviously there's some sections you really don't want to get caught behind people, especially into Mercedes curve or the arena section. Just making sure you time your approaches properly and clear traffic is going to be key for the higher classes to get through, and making sure you're not caught up in some nonsense is going to be key for the GT3s. How long that stays to be the case remains to be seen, but
yeah, it's a great track just for racing in GT3 as well. I mean, I don't know if anybody else caught DTM this weekend. I didn't catch the race, but saw some of the highlights, and plenty of overtaking opportunities, some creative overtaking opportunities, plenty of overtaking opportunities around this track, especially into the hairpin and into turn 2. So hopefully we'll get to see some good racing. We've got a couple of coming out of the pit lane resetting, and a couple of people not very happy on the radius happened on that outlet, but we're following Alex.
Was backwards off the track, which is in a weird place, and is under investigation immediately.
Caught the puddle on the curve. It did rain in practice a little bit, so I think that will be okay.
Not related to the voice message then.
Sure what the radio message was about. Alex Ott, like we said, leading the way, but not making, well, a decent first sector, but it's being bested by 3 temps by Vincent Ossoms.
Yeah, a couple of these apexes still looking a little wet though.
Dominic Knockel, who just went deep, covers.
And chooses to
has
reset.
also been off. It's like a place. Oh, big snap on the rear as he gets on the brakes.
Strange
Very,
one.
very bizarre moment. And that, of course, Callum Lux has been. It was Callum who spun off, who was on the radio, but
I think the spin and the radio were not related, but I don't know what the radio was about, unfortunately, so I'll leave it in the capable hands of race control as ever.
So Alex Ott sets the benchmark time 37.9. I think Vincent Ossoms is correct to beat that as he comes across the line in that Red Eagle Mercedes.
Might have picked up an off track at the end, though. Just that looked like a lot of gravel to kick up. I don't know how aggressive the off tracks are around here. I think last time I raced here was in F4 and some ancient
Snap in the final corner, I think. Ossoms, who will go again, and is purple once again in Sector 1. Alex Ott still. I mean, pretty much the whole field out on track as well.
22 cars this evening in the GT3 class.
The lap 0 incident under
just
investigation there.
We have 3 people marked as under investigation there, and only I assume that's just some fun stuff with the software, but yeah, you can't complain over the radio in qualifying. It is a immediate warning.
It's Forex. I think there's been contact here actually. You have the lights there from the BMW, and no, there is contact.
You can't do that.
That was 3 minutes into the session. That was lap 1 for Liam de Kock. So this is Liam de Kock in the BMW's first push lap. The Aston Martin on an out lap. That's Callum Lux, who's already been noted for a voice chat infringement, and that is Callum not realising the speed at which BMW is approaching, and then BMW doesn't know who's going to go to the inside.
But what was the move there? Like, I don't understand because that wasn't a make the corner. That was trying to get across the track for some reason. I don't know if that was blocking or like trying to get out of the way in a really stupid place. Like,
at least from that angle, without knowing what happened on the original out lap, it's to me like the Aston Martin of Callum Lux. He didn't realise. Oh, and a big moment for Casper Hoop, but I think Callum Lux didn't realise that the BMW was approaching. Saw it at the last second, tried to get out of the way, but getting out of the way once you're already sort of in the corner doesn't really work particularly well. And we can see those curbs still causing problems for some drivers. Just saw with Casper Hoop.
We were discussing before the race that they might be drying up by the time GT3 quali ends, but obviously this is iRacing water where it just exists for an infinite amount of time, so who knows when it's going to dry up. So yeah, it's going to cause a lot of these drivers issues and how much you want to ride the curbs on, especially around the apex, as that's where you're going to find a decent amount of lap time just by taking that ideal line, getting the car down in the corners, but too far down is a very dangerous prospect right now.
Morphy flying along at the moment has picked up the fastest Sector 1. Alex Ott still sits at the top, has improved that lap time, but Vincent Ossoms and Øystein Herford are closer than they were. Especially Ossoms, just over a tenth away. I think Daniel Morphy's going to put himself in the conversation with this lap. The end of it through the sort of stadium section that we have at the end of the lap. Got a car off in the gravel. Dylan Donaldson in the Mustang.
Cheeky bit of rally action before we get to the final 2 corners. Deep in between them, both leaving a bit of space on apex actually just to make sure you don't get the puddle. Takes a lot of that runoff because that is in track as long as you avoid the gravel, and Morphy goes third.
Back from Daniel Morphy. Look at that, 4 manufacturers in the top 4. We've got one of everything that's allowed to race in this series. Our own Lamborghini, Aston Martin. Oh, and big moment for Daniel Morphy.
How do you hold on to that, though? That is incredible work done by Morphy to keep that car pointed forwards. I think that might still be a loss of control technically, but just able to carry on, just call this lap right off and keep going.
Yeah, he's definitely picked up a 2x, but he's not flagged it on the broadcasting software as a moment because he managed to keep pointing. And that is over that same wet curve. So, same curve that nearly caught Casper, who did catch Daniel Morphy out. Catch. Drivers out as we go on in this session. St. Awesome's a good sector 1, not a good sector 2, and a good sector 3. So is that time going to be enough to put Awesome's to the top? Yes, it is. It's a 1:36.749 to go 2.5 times the of Alex Ott. Tell you what, that sector 1 is absolutely mega. I can't see anybody else getting within 3/10 of that time. That's how good that.
But that also means there's 3.5 tenths for these drivers to pick up on their future laps potentially. So I expect to see these gaps maybe collapse a bit. Final laps incoming as we finally get the 2-minute warning. Obviously with these tyres finally up to temp, this is the part where the drivers are going to be really pushing to try and get some lap time in, so expect to see these times tumble a little bit, especially as this track continues to improve, given the standing water that's currently pervasive on some parts of this track right now.
Raphael Heck across the line, but stays 13. The pro driver still has BAM cars ahead of him, as do a fair few of the pro drivers out there today.
Plascio, Donaldson, Vesca doing really good jobs there. Bertolini and Preens, just one big group of AMs that are really bullying some of the pros out of where they really want to be in the standings.
Yeah, and like I say, it doesn't matter for the points, but it does affect your starting sort of grid position essentially in the race. So you don't want to have 5 cars in front of you, but you've got to clear before you can actually make an overtake. Awesome's pushing on, finding a little bit of time this lap. Eventually, as it comes through the final corner, 36.749 the lap before, but it's a 39. So just over 2 seconds in that final sector, so backed off through there. Go again. Casper Who with improvement, but spins out in the final corner and finds a barrier, and it's session over for the Dutchman in the Lamborghini, who was looking to move up the order. The pro driver will start no better, 20th out of 22 on the grid. And Callum Lux is off as well as the pro driver looks to improve, but we'll get one more go at it. Oh, nope. No, he won't.
That is a very efficient way of removing your car from the track, I will say. Definitely didn't have enough time to bring it round, though. The checkered flag flies in 3 seconds, so I think once you go off like that, you'd have to accept your sessions over and
frustrating
to get the car off the track in the most efficient way possible.
I think Callum Lux will be particularly frustrated with this session. He had the spin on the first lap, then he had the blocking-esque incident on the second lap. Only 2 proper laps in that lap, as well as the a bit wider, get invalidated lap just yet. Both Alex Ott and Daniel Morphy have found a little bit of time in that first sector. Looks start. Well, that might be coming. Ooh, all loose on the exit for Vincent Ossoms, who comes across the line. And it's a 37.054, so yeah, improvement there. Oyster Herford off, gives up on this lap, so no improvement for the man. In P4 will start no higher. Improvement in both sectors, though, for Daniel Morphy and for Alex Ott, who currently are 2nd and 3rd on the grid, as Alessandro Vici moves up to 5th place. And it'll be 2 green flag flies, allowing those cars to lead. We're going to keep an eye on the remaining cars in this session that could still take pole. Daniel Morphy up through the final sector, gets on the wet curb and sends himself out wide, and it will be no better than P3 for the BMW driver, who was looking to move himself alongside his teammate on the front row. And what can Alex Ott do? Alex Ott can't do anything because he's had to abandon that lap as well. So that is it for GT3. Everybody is in the pit lane. Vincent Ossoms will start on pole position ahead of Alex Ott and ahead of Daniel Morphy. That's your top 3. Mercedes, Ford, BMW, ahead of a Ferrari of Oyster Herford. And But yeah, great to see a mix of manufacturers up there, and we look forward to that GT race. Pole position will go to Diego Palacio for points, but will start 9th overall, ahead of Liam de Kock, Leon Erger, Raphael Heck, Casper Hu, and Callum Lux, who are all mixed in amongst the AMs. So they'll have some progress to make.
Callum Lux also has the worst of it because it has been given a pit lane start for that earlier incident. So a lot of ground to make up there for Lux, but right now we have LMP2s on the track, only 5 out this time. So, ooh, okay, that last corner is giving a lot of drivers trouble.
And another driver today. Off in the background. Yeah, it's just, I think that inside curb is just so wet that if you tag it, you're just going to lose all grip. Essentially, even through the rest of the corner, it just seems to dip the tyre temperatures maybe a little bit more than you would expect. So I think we're going to have to see slowly start to push the limits a little bit more, because there's clearly a lot of time in doing it because everyone is still trying.
You want to get that car pointed in so you can get the quarter finish as early as possible, get that foot down, but obviously if that's a wet curb, then it's just going to shoot straight out like that.
That was a mid-corner snap for Bastian, so more bizarre. Clearly just not a lot of grip through there, despite what's going on the curb. I think that was the curb a little bit there, over the white line. Or down your neck.
Just unsettled the car a little bit.
Started a little bit earlier in the corner, that one.
So Carlos Bozapoya did have a little bit of a moment coming out turn 8. Lost a little bit of ground just trying to get the car settled again. So probably not going to be a pole lap for Carlos here, but should at least be the first driver across line. Didn't look like it was an invalidation, just a little half spin catch. As we have an incident under investigation by race control.
That might
for
go
the
all the way
GT3s.
Back to 3, yeah.
Yes.
Look,
Simon Bertolini would be the other car.
The Poya sets the. This is the incident between Team Dalton and Dalton in the DLR car. Whoa, and there was contact there coming down the straight.
What are we doing here? Racing or ping pong?
Well, looks to me like I think that's going to be a penalty for Bertolini, unfortunately.
You know, at the pre-race briefing, there was some discussion about me having a crash out. And I feel it coming on very early in this race, which is not a good sign because we're still 20 minutes from the race.
And Bertolini's been given a warning for causing a collision.
Bertolini got really goddamn lucky for that warning. If that's all he's getting.
Race controller just trying to antagonize Alice.
They really are.
Poya improving again. Purple, already half a second clear as Sebastian. Will look to go even further ahead.
I think this time it's been a clean lap for Bozapoya, who has not had that slip up in turn 8 this time. Should get a decent advantage on the field here. 3 purples should be clear of everyone. It's a question of how close does Van der Duvel get. The answer is not particularly. That is still 7/10 to Carlos. Renek 5 seconds off of that call. Elor and Gronveld gets the lap times.
It is 7/10, but he looks pretty happy about it. Waiting to use that one all day. Right. Go back off board. Daniel Renek not finding anything in Sector 1 on this lap. Sebastian has done. It is out on the route lap, so just fueled up for those 2 laps.
I don't actually know what the LMP2 tyre model is like in terms of building heat these days. Presumably it's does better on like 2 lap tyres that's enough to get it going.
It's not as bad as the GTP, but there are still definitely cold tyres on it, so...
Yes.
you can fit 2 runs into the qualifying session. Sebastian finding time still though.
Renek's also got that gap down to under a second to Carlos Boisboyer now, so it's just a question of how much does Van der Heuvel get in this lap. If it's close to, I don't think it's been enough to challenge for P1, but it should at least be good enough to secure P2. Only 4 tenths off the back of 31.8.
About 3 tenths on his previous lap and is still going, so clearly fueled up for a longer run.
Oh, it was a huge puddle hit there.
Leon and Ben both struggling to set valid lap times. Session as Leon be wrong and puts it on the board.
I'm still a little bit off, probably where I wants to be, but
showing green
it's only a
on the
5-car grid.
timing board, but on my race control board it's showing purple. So very close at the first to what Boyer did. That is an improvement. Oh, and wide through sector 2, and that's going to be an invalidation. Back out of this lap, get ready to go again. Sun are coming out a little bit here at Hockenheim. Hopefully help to dry some of those.
Yeah, you can see drivers just ignoring the apex of turn 16 last corner, just trying to make sure they keep that car pointed forwards. It's very challenging conditions right now. Yeah, only a few minutes left in this qualifying session though for LP2s as Renek takes to the pits, misses the box.
Leon gets very close to his teammate, but
there.
sends it out over the curbs through sector 1.
Boisboyer with another purple sector 1, yeah. And now we just wait for these times to tick through. Van der Heuvel and Ella on purple sector 1s, meaning it's going to be a little challenging. I think sector 1's probably whether you can make up the most time right now based on performance of everyone else. 2-minute warning is shown. Van der Heuvel puts up a green. Boisboyer responds with another purple. Whatever the track's got going on right now, Boisboyer really likes and is finding a lot of time. That mid-run pit stop might have been exactly what this car needed. Van der Heuvel with a four-wheel drift towards the line, will get it across. Purple fan sector, not surprising, won't improve. Boisboyer comes to the line. It's not exactly what you'd want, but it is an improvement. 31.236, the final time for Boisboyer. Now, well, to be fair, the checkered flag has not been shown yet. Could go for another lap, but has taken to the pit lane. That'll be it for the Spaniards. Out goes triple orange, excuse me, would be a lot better if he got the purples, I imagine. Van der Heuvel retires as well. Just
Ben Groeneveld goes
left and Groeneveld loops it.
Sorry, that was Daniel.
With,
This is Ben Groeneveld. This is Daniel Renek is funny.
Yes.
I think it'd be easier to not get them confused when there's only 5 of them. Anyway.
Unfortunately. Daniel Renek has gone for a spin elsewhere on the track. We'll have invalidated the lap, so we'll get into the pit lane. Groeneveld
Looking for
Still
one position here, yeah.
Has potential to improve a lot. There's obviously a lot of time left on the track right now. If you're able to find it. The checker flag has been shown, so that means we have the swarm of the bumblebees. As we have cars stacked on top of each other in pit lane right now, waiting to get given the green flag, despite the fact that I know this is a terrible idea in terms of their qualifying performance.
They all
Still on board with
know
Grunwald.
performance it is. Right. Ben Grunewald through the final sector, riding the curves a little bit here. Yellow in sector 2, but doesn't... Just a good sector 1 and a good sector 3 will be enough to move it onto 4 on the grid, but not a lot of front grip in 2. It is an improvement, a fair improvement, not enough to...
Yes. Grunwald will take the tow, and will leave the track to the 12 GTPs who are just queuing up there. You can see in that far shot.
Oh no,
And
we've got a
here
Red
we
Bull
go.
racing car. Davy van der Vacken.
Okay,
Gonna go bowling.
okay, I see what's going on here.
It's a coordinated attack on Alistair's sanity. Okay. Rolling out of the pit lane, a nice healthy GTP field. We've got BMWs, we've got Cadillacs, we've got Porsches, no Ferraris. Not a bad mix. Got a new ASR entry as well. Brody Maynard not taking part last week, but is back, but in the Porsche this season. Better stops with.
Because that's what decides pit stop performance, is the car you're using.
Well, he's now racing with Porsche Anti-Stall Racing and not Anti-Stall Racing Cadillac. So,
Which is exactly how this works.
Yep.
Sure. Anyway. Also, just prepare a bit more for the Dallas and George podcast as per usual in this GTP qualifying session. These tyres are garbage until you get a few laps under them, so these lap times that we're going to see for the first few laps don't matter.
Yeah,
As long as they exist, they're probably good enough. But
once we hit about
once we're
32 minutes in the session, then we'll start worrying about the lap times. It's usually the way it is. I can tell you he's got the fastest sector 3, and it's sector 2, and it's Davide Aceto, but like, really mean to see.
Mark Frederick has been the first driver, unfortunately, to find the grass house for 16. Does keep a point forwards.
What happened to Mark? Way. Oh, close to the barrier. Frederick.
Just a small amount of rallying, and then dumps the car on a straight. Interesting.
Way
Okay.
too early there. Let's take a look at it again. Apologies, everybody. Avoids a barrier there. Lucky to avoid the barrier on the other side, but let's.
Straight line. Car just gives up. Presumably he's got too much on the loud pedal, and the car just give up. That's
also
bizarre
been
to me.
off. Albert? And white. I can't just.
A little
It's the
bit
kind of
too much
stuff we're
pink,
used
I
to on the
think.
cold tyres, yeah.
So, once again, some opening lap times being set here, except apparently not, because a lot of them have been validated. Cheto, Van der Vacker, Sartor get laps set.
Just to tell you how
obviously, yeah.
provisional these times are, only one of them, and that's Davide Aceto, has managed to beat the LMP2 pole time.
So congratulations to Carlos Boyes Puya, who will be starting second on the grid overall. It would be funny if that's how it worked, but it would also be disastrous for actual racing performance, I think.
And not great for lap 1, because the LMP2s would be quicker than the GTPs. Raymond Denis goes to the top temporarily.
It would be funny until I have to realise the reality of the situation I've just put myself in. Which is probably just a huge pile-up at some point anyway. Just also, I'm probably still trying to get a feel for this track. It's not really dried at all. See if I can find the temperature right now. 21 degrees track temp. Feels fairly low. It has been declared a dry session, but obviously there's just a lot, well, not a lot of sunny water. There's very little of it. It's just in very specific, very bad places for a few drivers.
Times are starting to look a little bit more like what we would expect now. Practice times were in about the 28s, so some of the 28s just about at the front at Frederick Sarter.
Frederick Reed and men are yet to set lap times. As they go around. Once again, it's not about it's the time you're sitting right now, it's about making sure you're staying on track, making sure you're building that tyre temp up and trying to make sure you've got a good run at the end.
Albert Preem quickest in Sector 1 this lap, about 2 times quicker than a lot of the other cars. So maybe Albert pushing a little bit more now.
Just feel like the track's getting brighter as well.
Albert Preem with a moment in Sector 2. Onto the sausage curb, and that spits him out into.
And obviously, what you have to do there. Because what you have to do there is reset the car, and once you do that, you lose all the tyre temp you've had so far. So that's going to really camp your chance of getting good lap time. There's only 5 minutes left of the session. That is maybe enough time to get a decent flying lap in as Preem goes for a little bit of a spin. Does manage to keep the car pointing forwards and manages to avoid the barrier on the inside as we get a replay here. Presumably just tags the curb on the outside and that just immediately sends the car sideways.
Cheto's also had a bit of a moment. Is it going to be in turn 1? Spits himself out over the curb and avoids a barrier, but abandoned that lap, of course.
Does a good job of keeping it pointing forwards though, no damage to the tyres, just obviously that lap's ruined, but you've got plenty of time to get another one in, so should be fine overall. I think I am happy to call these vaguely representative lap times now at least. Sartor currently a pole sitter with 28.2 and Verdonkny, Ocheto and Frederick chasing. Bit of a gap to maintenance, so presumably tyres going to be the issue there.
Seeing a couple of yellow sectors start to come in, which to me suggest that out in the right area. No one is improving too much. Davy van der Vacker is improving. No green in Sector 1, although about a tenth off what the pole sitter's just done. But a long way up in Sector 2 for the BMW driver.
And I think you can actually take a little bit of that gravel on the exit of turn 11 there, so should be on for a lap. I think as long as this car in front doesn't unsight him.
It just invalidated.
I think that might be okay.
I know, invalidated earlier on in the lap, although that lap time would have been good enough for P2, despite the invalidation and the slow moment at the end of a lap. So is pace in this car to go higher as Jack Reed moves up 6, Brody Maynard 7 currently.
Then the Warwick will slot behind them in 8th in order, as you would predict. Denit comes out of nowhere to take pole position. Frederick has a purple Sector 1, 2 purples to back it up, though will take a position, slot up into 4th ahead of Ocheto. But could have had a lot more there given that pace in Sector 1. Clearly that car's doing something good though. Only one driver yet set a lap time. Minna, I think might have had a moment because I think I saw them in the pits as well. Yeah, because we saw them tow. So probably struggling for tyre temp as well, which isn't going to be helping. But kind of running out of time to set a lap time here, so need to be careful. Two-minute warning is shown. So a lap and a third left of qualifying to go. Sartor takes pole position back from Denit.
Frederic, though, improving again. Purple in Sector 1, green in Sector 2. Denit also improving on this lap in Sector 2. Off through the final corner.
That should be a really good time for Frederic here. It does get only one position, but improves by 3/10 there, so a lot of time gained there by the Dutchman.
Small moment for Raymond Denit, who has had to abandon the car now and go back to the pit lane. So session over for Denit. It'll be no better than P2. David van der Wacker, on the other hand, is improving through Sector 1, has gone purple. And remember, was very, very quick before, but invalidated that fast lap. So will he be able to find a little bit more time? And it's green in Sector 2. That green is only about 3/10 off of what the purple Sector 2 time is, which is set by Raymond Denny. So, potential to move up the grid here for David van der Wacker.
Only needs a 10th to move 2 positions, a full row up the grid right now. Going up to Denit and Sartor might be challenging, but van der Wacker looking very fast right now. Will take the line. Looks like he's been in bounds the entire way through, so this will be a valid lap.
And it's a 27.987 to go just clear at the top. 58 milliseconds ahead of the time set by Sartor.
Has enough time to get another lap in if he wants, but I think that one's going to be good enough. Sartor with not much time to gain there, but it's going to be challenging to find these last tenths on this track.
Sartor just set the purple Sector 1, and then it was quickly taken away again by Davey. I know it's showing yellow on the screen, not sure why that is, but Davey this lap 4 thousandths quicker than Sartor through Sector 1. Winter Verdonk also very quick through Sector 1.
Checkered flag is flying, so these will be the final laps for everybody now. Van der Wacker leads, Sartor leads, Denit and Verdonk. Frederic has retired from the session. So it looks like the track will be 7th place for them. Van der Wacker in another purple sector, this time the middle one. As it's a charge towards the line for the top, well, 3 of the top 4 drivers certainly.
Long way up on what Sartor did in that sector as well, and he's going to go quicker at the front. Sartor improves, but it's not enough for pole. David van der Wacker does not improve. A mistake in the final sector.
But doesn't need to, because I think with everyone else being done, yeah, Verdonk did improve to P3, that's all he can muster there, so still a very good showing for a lot of these drivers. Van der Wacker will be able to hold on and start this race from pole position.
A mega qualifying session there, 53 milliseconds ahead of Sartor in P2. Within 4/10 of the top 6. 9, all within a second of each other. Albert Priem, remember, very fortunately was more in that fight before he set halfway through the session and got the tyre temperature back after. Even Albert Priem's actual last lap was a 28.6 to put him at P7 on the grid, but it wasn't validated. Run for a mega race.
In a vacuum, of course, and then we have the fact that we've got a whole bunch of GT3s ready to make their lives slightly awkward at all points, as is tradition for GT3s. Yeah, now just a brief warm-up session, make sure everyone's got the right setup loaded, make sure everyone's ready for the actual race, and then we can get underway.
Yeah, and once we do get underway, Vincent Ossoms will start on pole position in the GT3 field ahead of Alex Ott, Daniel Morphy, 3 names that have been with ASR racing in the IMSA series for such a long time. They know each other so well. You get some great racing with those guys. Oystein Hereford will start in P4 ahead of Vici, Schneider, Knockel, Vitanfort, Palacio Rodriguez, and De Kock to make up your 10. Then comes Leon Erger, Taylor Donaldson, Ivan Vesquez, Simone Bertolini, Scholten, Raphael Heck, Pete Preens, Luca Picardi, Chris Van Strylen, Casper, who are your 20 drivers, but I think we've got a couple more to cover, and that is Callum Lux, who will be starting from the pit lane, Patrick Stanek, who will actually start 21st on the grid. And P2 is going to be a little bit easier to run through. Pole position was taken by Carlos Boza Poya, ahead of Sebastian van der Heuvel, Leon van Elawat, Daniel Renek, and Ben Groneveld. Then in GTP, we just covered it, but pole position was taken by Davey Mandavaca, who was quick all session, just ahead of Federico Sarta. Then comes Quinton Verdonk, Raymond Denis, Mark Frederick, and Brody Maynard. That's your front three rows. Then Davide Aceto ahead of Jack Reed, Albert Cream, Vincent and Maynard. And either we just beat Andy, or I muted him last week and forgot to unmute.
I think we've managed to beat Andy, which is good. Which means I now get to introduce our fabulous race director. Which means I now get to introduce our fabulous race director.
As a weekly reminder, the race will not start under green flag. The race will start for your class when your class pole sitter goes within the allocated start zone. Next, we ask the pole sitters in GT3 and LMP2. I don't have them in front of me. But we ask the pole sitter in GT3 and LMP2 to leave a gap between 10 and 15 seconds to the back of the class ahead. And finally, as a reminder, we ask that the pole sitter runs the pit limiter from the final corner until you get to the start, until you start the race. The pit limiter is 80 kilometers per hour or 50 miles per hour. Now, all that now remains me is to wish you good luck, and have a nice race.
Actual coordination in the Anti-Stall Racing League broadcast. It's a Christmas miracle. I mean, you can see some of these drivers struggling on these track conditions as is in these sort of scouting laps, if you will. Looks to be dry for the remainder of the race at least, so should be fine for as long these conditions will only improve, but right now they are definitely looking challenging.
Saw how deadly it was in qualifying if you just caught one of the curbs or the white lines. It'd be a little bit harder to avoid those areas when you're side by side on the of the race.
I think these laps are actually quite important because they are just at that last minute, okay, what is the track condition actually like when I get out there? What do I have to do to avoid?
Back, am I back?
Have me here. Hello, you're back. Why?
Well, that was dipped out for a second. But we're still in the session, and that's what matters. If we'd been kicked out of the session, we would have been in big trouble, and it looks like the broadcast.
Yeah, just make sure you just know what this car wants to do, and make sure you're able to avoid cars doing silly things like that. That's the terrifying thing as well in these sort of tight sections where the track does narrow down when you get to the infield through the Mercedes section and the arena section. You just need to be aware, and you just need to be able to get out of the way as quickly as possible, because sometimes someone's going to have a slip, and you need to make sure it doesn't become your problem as well.
You know, the GTP struggle to fire up those tyres when currently Sebastian van der Heuvel set to one. But that's it for warm-up. Green. I'm ring. Let's see, did Oh no, Amy's given us a. Travis will be very grateful.
It's fine. Just drive on cold tires. I don't see the problem. It's more than doable. You just have to not full send it. How hard could that possibly be to not full send it?
It's not even. You have to like not even press the throttle more than 20%. Otherwise, it will end up off in a wall.
Casper decides to just verbally fart over the microphone.
I hope he knows that's going to get clipped. So that's on him. That's on him, right? I'd like.
That's probably
Amy,
we'd like to
can
say.
we make
Give a
that
shout
the new
out
transition noise for the highlights, please? Or just
Amy does a
the
wonderful
whenever
job of
somebody
putting-
spins, I need that bound button on my stream deck.
Amy does a wonderful job of putting our highlights together, and we're very thankful she's here. Currently in the broadcast booth. No, that's us. She's in the race control booth. Yes, look forward to getting the highlights of this race, as all the others, which are as always available on our YouTube channel, and wherever other good highlight reels are found.
Right, we're rolling here at Hockenheim, and shortened warm up like we said, and you can tell that because these GPs are aggressively trying to find tyre temperature, because turn 1 at the high-speed right-hander is not going to be fun with cold tyres. Pete Breen's,
Honestly?
I believe, it's just... Anyway, Callum Lux is in the pit lane for that pit lane start, and because of how spread out the field is, I think he's going to get to join the pack right on the back of the rest of the GT3 field, which will be a bit race saving.
I also have Prains in the pit lane. I'm not sure what that's about. But we'll assume everything's fine. All the other cars are rolling, except for Lux, who obviously has that pit lane start to deal with. But 2 corners to go. They'll get that final bit of heat in the tyres. Van der Acker will set the lead position. They'll stack it behind, and we're about to take that green flag.
Green flag, green flag.
Lead pit limiter on. Dumps it now just before we get to the start-finish line and pulls ahead of Federico Sartor. It's a good start for our race leader as the pack are going to go side by side and off the road, and it's a spin for Brodie Maynard on the cold tyres. But no one else is collected as far as I can see, so we've all got away with it fairly well. Side by side with Davide Aceto, and that's Jack Reed on the inside, I believe, and they're going to get away with it all right. LMP2 down into turn 1 as expected. Carlos Spoilers Poya leads into turn 1, and we're all through cleanly. GT3 we're going as well. Wow, it's a quick succession of starts today. Side by side through the field into turn 1, and we've got spinners, and we've got 2 cars in the barrier.
Liam de Kock gets the worst of that, goes sideways into the wall. Just about.
That's going to be put
just
under
about avoided the
investigation
Kirby
by
crash
race
out.
control. Yeah. What's happened to Patrick Stanek as well on this start? Patrick there in the Corvette, sorry. Oh no, sorry. BMW behind and just themselves.
Yeah, unfortunate. I think he just tries to be a little too respectful, gets a bit too much of the curb on the inside, trying to leave space. And
contact, and 3 times contact, bumper to bumper into the hairpin in GT3.
You can. Oh, Alabau is sideways on the track for. No, I think that's actually contact. I can't tell who with. I think
looks like
Renek.
contact with Renek there.
A lot of action on this opening lap.
I think this is going to be a spin on his own.
No, I think
no,
that,
they
no.
both just spun. Okay.
Race control, I'd like to apologise for making you worry about that. As Placio Rodriguez holds 6th place in GT3 AM. Currently got a decent buffer to work with. I say that, no, that's Not a
Long way
decent
round,
buffer.
3
It's actually the car
gap.
right
Behind
behind.
him, we got a car off ahead.
Too much Shelton in the wall. Does manage to keep a point forwards. Car looks okay. A little bit squirrely trying to get, like, figure out the steering on the straight. Might be able to limp it around to the pit lane.
Not actually picked up an incident point for that, so might have managed to avoid everything.
Did look like he hit the wall though, and that's never a good thing in this damaged model.
Side by side for P2
Ooh.
as Alex Ott makes the move to get past Daniel Morphy for P2 and now can go down chasing Vincent Ossoms ahead.
You could see Morpheus thinking about trying to get his way back past, but there's obviously no opening there through Mercedes.
Nearly
So
side
Patrick
by
Stanek looking trying to
side.
get positions back. I think that's Liam de Kock actually that is getting raced
Yeah,
there.
it is. That's Patrick Stanek and Liam de Kock who's trying to recover. Both of these guys trying to recover after a spin on lap 1. Alessandro Vici trying to pressure Oysten Hereford ahead. We've got position swapping in GTP, Davide Aceto and Mark Frederick going at it, and Frederick now ahead.
It's a good place to do it as well, because it's not necessarily easy to get the move back done through this infield section, and then because it's a slower section, you want to build a bit of a buffer between you. It's a very hard send into 11 and 12 if you want to try it. Cheto was feeling frisky though, and you can see the pop to the outside, trying to see there's a way around. Oh, does force himself off the track as well. A lot of aggression being shown early on. Jack Reed's just looking at this thinking, I might have an opportunity here. Team Mitchell has come in early to repair that damage off that hit off of the wall. Just keep you updated on that as Elwout's looking at the back of Daniel Renek, thinking there might be a way through here, especially... Yeah, Renek locks it up, gets it a bit too deep through the corner. They'll be side by side. It looks like the Renek's going to back out there. I just have to give that one up.
Try and push on now. These two obviously both lost a lot of time with that spin on the first lap. Sebastian, though, doing a good job actually in LMP2, trying to keep Carlos Boza Poya a little bit more honest today. Might change when they hit the traffic. Try and stay in that toe, that big long straight, maybe helping him stay in touch a little bit.
Just got to keep him honest, wait for the mistake to come. Because if you're staying in this toe, again, there's a lot of straights here, you're just able to close that gap back up again, even if it builds through Parabolica. Just keep that momentum rolling.
Well, we tried to take a look at... here we go. Don't know why that froze. This is what happened to Brody Maynard on lap 1 into turn 1. We said this was going to be difficult on the cold tyres. And somebody already went off behind and...
It's just a very sad spin,
Maynard,
isn't it?
Yeah, Maynard lucky to avoid the wall, actually. But off the back of the pack. Side by side, Dominic Knockel.
Oh.
And
I think it's going to have to give this one up, because you don't really want to be on the outside here.
The corner.
Having said that, able to stay side by side here, through the flick, could be a hard braking zone to the left here, just gets his shoulders out, trying to give himself some space to work within the braking zone, slides up in front, maintains position, turns off the corner early to prevent the switchback. Very nicely done there from Knockel. Moves up to 5th in the Pro category. And now gets to chase down Herfjord. Herfjord's easier for me to say.
Bit of a gap ahead for Knockel to try and... There's some close battling behind now. Jonas Schneider, who is all over the back of Kevin Versanvor and actually pushing him nearly through the final sector. Probably try and get a run down, not into turn 1, a little bit too high speed to overtake into turn 1. We'll probably try and get the move done into turn 2, down at the hairpin further around the lap. So let's see what goes here. And they're getting a little bit braver with that curb now.
I think having the full force of 40 cars running on it, or however many we've got today, definitely helping that track dry out faster. And presumably also going to push these lap times down and get the racing a bit more action. You still see there's a decent wet patch there on the inside of Parabolica, but no one needs to use that curb, so I think that's going to stay wet for the race.
Leaders now catching the back of the GT3 field as well.
There we go then with Van der Vacker, who's catching a few stragglers in the GT3 field. Goes at the side of Liam de Kock. Now able to get the foot down, and again, you want to catch these GT3s on the straight, because if you get them in the corner, you're going to have to... Oh, does manage just about get away with it there, excuse me, Denise.
Oh, but it's deep for Raymond Denise as he tries to make up some of the lost time on the brakes and loses even more, and now just falls out of touch a little bit now with Frederick starter. Davide Aceto looking to take advantage of the traffic as he now closes up on the back of Frederick once again.
Oh, no, Nick Knockel is off track, and looks like he might have hit the wall as well. Should see him come into your view there, as we go on board with the Jones Brothers competition driver.
I think he's got some broken suspension.
Oh, Bertolini is sideways on the track as well. It's all kicking off today.
There's contact for Bertolini. This was on the GT. Oh, we've already got contact behind it. That was Knockel going on.
I think I might figure out what happened to Knockel, but we'll get back to that.
What happened to Bertolini? They just lost it through the final corners. We've seen so many times. And this is what happened to Dominic Knockel, who was already off there.
And I think that's the result of what happened to...
Get tagged on the... bit earlier on. Well, I'm very confused.
Car gets looped, everyone sneaks past the inside, and I think...
Ah, there we go.
Oh,
That's
that...
different.
Yeah. Oh, Liam de Kock has, I think has been invited to spin, shall we say, based on the cars going past.
Bream getting flagged at the same time, so what's gone on here? Close to each other. I think not, because I think Nasli and de Kock. It says Albert Bream in the white. He backs out of it, then thinks there's a gap, and sends the...
Not a pleasant one for Liam de Kock, who I think is not having a great day so far, I think. You know, some of these races just have to sit there and think, damn, why am I here? And it's definitely not looking great right now for Dutchman. So you go on board with the Cheto, trying to chase down Frederick, but traffic not being a great help there, just being on the inside of the run point means you can't get the full extension out the corner. Back to Versan Vort, who's going to stay behind here. I was half worried about see a dive bomb to end all dive bombs.
Patrick Stanek in for a little bit of a spin, I believe. Through the final sector, riding the curves quite aggressively. Through there, is he going to be through the final corner? We've seen it go wrong so many times. Onto the wet patch, you can see the spray come up. Sends him round.
Save the live Barts.
Not a bad outcome. Drivers today. Neil Van Ellerwatt and Daniel Renek nearly have caught the back of Ben Groneveld. Look at that actually, because I think the move is coming in the hairpin, and it is.
Oh.
Down the inside on
Good
the brakes.
I think he just gets it clear into brakes, yeah.
Question is, how well did Ben Gronoville get the power down there? Because he's got an opportunity to come back here. But Leon defends the inside.
Oh, that's a corner, isn't it? No, okay. I thought that was a strong move on a straight, and I was like, wait a second. That's not how this track layout works.
Sartre now all over the back of Davy van der Vacker. Not what's happened here. I think just bad traffic for Davy on that last lap.
But it has let Sartre close right onto the back of van der Vacker. Should get a decent chunk of toe here. Potentially lose enough gap that I don't really think a move is coming immediately. But it's definitely putting the pressure on van der Vacker. Doesn't really get full extension through turn 8, but still very close here coming to the arena section. And if it stays this close, that might be
got a problem.
Turn 2.
Dropping down the order, pulled over on the side of a track and is now towed. What on earth has happened to Alessandro Vici? Oh, very odd.
Car's going slow. That is very bizarre.
Fastest lap of the race for Raymond Denit in the pursuit of the front 2. We're getting ever closer this lap, and Jack Reed is getting close here to Davide Aceto, and is actually going to make a move, I think, going down into turn 2, surely.
Gets it covered off. I think that's going to be enough to dissuade Reed from at least making the move here, because he's got GT3 on the outside, still gets it very close under braking to the Motorsports aceless driver. But able to keep it together right now. Reed's probably kicking himself, thinking, damn, that could have been the move there. Unfortunately, traffic just didn't
Sartre is ahead. Sorry, we've missed this. Sartre is ahead, briefly ahead of Davy van der Vacker, who is now back ahead. That must have been a send on the brakes.
Going to try a dive here. No, chooses better off, but has invited Denit to the conversation as well. He's forced to take evasive maneuvers because of the car on the apex right where he wants to be there.
We're going to stay live, and then we're going to cut back once it all calms down to try and work out what happened at the start of this.
Sartre with a huge bite of gravel there. Denit's not able to find a way around immediately, but has to be thinking, is there a way around here? Because right now this Cadillac is looking very vulnerable. Going to be a hard charge for Denit, trying to flick through turn 1, carry momentum, maybe look for a move in a direction at turn 2, too far back I think to try and make anything happen. Has to slot behind, go through this small hairpin through 3 and 4 as well, and then a charge through Parabolica towards the hairpin.
Andy, please check hairpin.
As Alex Ott gets on the radio. Currently in P2, GT3 Pro, so doing very good right now, but not happy about something.
Let's go back and take a look at how this all started. This is Federico Sarter's move, and looks such a long way back. This is why we didn't see it coming.
Alex,
and I'm not even sure he was planning on doing that. Gets it stopped though, but Dave van der Vacker is going to get the switchback, and there was... We missed this as well. Davide Aceto getting past Mark Frederick, who locked the rears a little bit, trying to go down the inside of a GT3, spun the GT3 actually. That's what Alex Ott is on the radio about. And that let both Davide Aceto and Jack Reed past Mark Frederick. Daniel Renek has also cleared Ben Groneveld in LMP2, so he's going to go down the inside into turn 2. Gets the move done. Leaves plenty of room as well with being that late on the brakes.
Just does a good job of getting the car stopped. What more can you ask for? So Van der Vacker has pulled away from Sartre a little bit here, but Denit's still very much in the hunt for that P2.
Got about a lap or two now as well, I think, until they start to get towards... Sorry, until they get towards the LMP2 runners. Start to come up. I
think they've got more time than that. Those LMP2s have got a decent gap right now. I think they should be fine for a few laps, actually. I think GT3 stragglers might be more of a concern for them. But Van der Vacker has actually been able to break away because Sartre's got an excellent run here through. Parabolica forced to take evasive maneuvers, actually gets off the line, and Denit slides up the inside. And that should be P2 to Denit once they flick through to the right. And Soto can't keep it under contest, and Denit will take P2 clean. Still not giving up. Sartor's hounding the back, but it has let Van der Wacker stretch the lead a little bit. As, ooh, that is,
Frederick for that move down the inside into the hairpin. Time penalty.
Yes.
And the Mühlerbrucker off at the back of the field. Still going slow. No, just a little bit too much speed, or quite a lot too much speed.
Yes.
And just avoids the barrier.
So we stay on the replay, there we go. So you have Van der Mühlenbrucker in the back of the situation, but up front is still
Is that
Van der
like
Wacker.
added to the bid or like after the race? Because 15 is crazy.
Mark Frederick complaining about the penalty in the middle of the race, despite having allegedly read the rules, is quite a declaration of, I didn't actually read the rules.
Perfect.
Either way, Sartor still trying to chase down Denit and Van der Wacker, losing a little bit of time. I think Sartor might just not have the pace right now to hang on.
Yeah,
Obviously with two
Palacio in
pit
for the first
stops.
pit stop of the race, but has gone deep and is reversing back in the box.
It's a little earlier than you would expect, but should still be able to make it fine with one more stop from here. Obviously, ASR runs reduced fuel tanks, so we should have two pit stops. GT3s normally run 22 to 25 minutes, and GTPs normally push it about 28, maybe, if they're feeling aggressive, but they can definitely go a little longer. And obviously you can just split the race down the middle, but what most drivers will do is they'll take a full tank on their first stop and then just take what they need on that final one. So we got more things called racing incidents. Sartor actually has handed down Denit a little bit here.
Yeah, he seems to gain a lot into hairpin. I think that's probably why he's able to attempt that move on David Van der Wacker earlier in the race. Those super strong brakes that we're used to on the Cadillac proving really helpful in heavy braking zones we've got around here. We're struggling for pace to try and get close enough to that move on him and Denit. David Van der Wacker, by the way, set the fastest sector 1 on this lap, so he's finding pace out there. Oh, and off the road for Denit in the gravel, and that's going to let Sartor have a go down the inside, and he's going to stick his nose in. And that's all he needs to do to offset the BMW driver through the rest of this final sector and upset the BMW driver's rhythm a little bit, because he's not going to get through, but this is going to put him in a better position to try and make him move further around the lap.
I think there might have been a netcode contact there as Sartor just pushed up and slightly into the side of Denit, but Denit catches it, still keeps the car pointed forwards. Sartor doesn't have the gap enough to really get the pace through, but looks so much faster here. Denit goes defensive early, should be side by side under braking. You can see that there might be water still on that part of the track as Denit gets very deep on the brakes, but able to hold that position for now.
It certainly looked like there was a little bit of spray out there on that side of the lap. Jack Reed going slow on track, by the way, I think is moving, getting some like seeing the yellow flag next to name. Oh, and this is going to make it interesting. Sartor trying to get the move done, but they're approaching traffic alongside those brakes on the Cadillac. Going to let him get his nose in? No, he thinks better of it. The last opportunity to back out. And is he going to now get it run down into the next bit of the lap?
Incident for Taylor Donaldson elsewhere on the track, but we'll get to that in a moment because Sartor's still trying to hound this position. Trying to get around the outside GT3, not helping there, but there's another one, I believe that is Liam de Kock again. Currently just slightly in the way of Denit. But this is going to be terrible for Sartor here, I think, 'cause he's going to catch him right at turn in and has to back up massively.
Lost about 4 attempts in that one corner, unfortunately, and that actually is putting Quinta Verdonk onto the back of Sartor now. Albert Preem as well
Albert-
on the
yeah.
recovery drive is on the back of Frederic now. Has that penalty serve at the end. Take a look at what happened to Taylor Donaldson. Power in the
Ooh.
Mustang.
Yeah, I think just there might still be a little bit too spicy in the Mustang. Not able to hold on to it.
5, wouldn't it? There we go.
Oh, huge wreck. Denis, I think, got tagged there. Simone Bertolini Jr. is missing a rear wing and is backwards on the track.
That was a blink, Andy.
Okay, no, there's no car behind. I'll allow it, but it's a very risky maneuver. And I think now realizes the car's junked and will take the tow. Huge blink there. Huge blink there.
Yeah, there we go. And that was the contact there.
I struggle to, as much as this sucks for Bertolini, I struggle to put that underneath because
You're gone, I'm a free mate. You just teleported into me when you came back.
It was also showing that perhaps is not familiar with the rule book. We are arguing over incidents during the race, which is not the done thing around here.
Already been declared a race incident, but all of incident scene.
Yeah, like.
Not netcode, is it? It's just complete blinking out of existence. As we've got most of our GT3 field into the pit lane now for their first stops, only 23 minutes. Raymond Deneat into the pits as well, as is Dave van der Backer, but Sarter in a Cadillac is going to go one further than the rest of the field.
Again, more than enough distance made up to actually get it. Deneat is not happy about something.
Honestly, that was entirely on me.
What is going on this race?
Too much.
Donaldson, Deneat under investigation by race control.
Our race
Looks
leader that
fine.
just came through, so this is Deneat now.
I thought they're both going to try and go into the pit lane at the same time. And one of them's going to outbrake the other. No, it's fine on entry, so what happens to they all get aggressive at each other?
Oh, that's what happened. Oh. Well, in all fairness, Taylor Donaldson, I don't think did anything wrong there because he was pulling into his box. Deneat should have stayed behind in the fast lane.
This is true, but that's a very late swing for the GT3. Like, I'm not convinced you get that stopped even if you don't get punted, but I'll let race control decide that. Because
Cheto all
I don't
over
want
the
to
back
deal
of
with the
Deneat
consequences.
in a complete switch up here.
Oh. Cheto 10 seconds faster line to line through the pits. Obviously, Deneat had that incident on pit road, but...
Van der Vakker's dropped a long way back as well.
Also, so I think
Van der
Cheto...
Vacker- Oh,
Cheto's in the wall.
Cheto finds a barrier. Sarter's in now, and I think Sarter is going to get a brilliant jump here, no?
Going to take the same amount of time on pit road, excuse me, as Deneat. Maybe a smidge longer, but certainly going to be competitive. But Deneat does
They're
just
about
manage to slide in
equal.
front. That 1 second that was on pit road is the difference maker then. Deneat slides in front of Sartor.
Big question is, why was Dave van der Vacker so slow in the... Was Dave van der Vacker the
Doesn't
car that
actually
had contact?
pit-
I'm trying to remember who I...
No, that was Deneat. It's a very strange day at Hockenheim Ring, I think it's fair to say.
Well, let's see. Dave van der Vacker had the pace before and is already closing back up on a new lead 2. But Sarter trying to keep the pressure on Deneat. Battle is now for the overall lead. Sebastian van der Hoel into the pit lane. Carlos Mozapoya carries on, but Van Elwart also third place.
I guess if you're going this long, there's the outside opportunity for making a one-stop work. But given all the other drivers have already come in, I would certainly not want to risk it at this point if I'm Versapulio. I have the pace, so I'm just like, okay, if I follow strategy, I can't mess this up. There's like a saying in NASCAR, at least, of if you follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. If you are the leader, that's a good thing. You're going to remain the leader. I wouldn't try to push this here.
Cheto was squeezed onto the grass. That's what happened with that.
I think I might have got squeezed a little bit there, but I'm not sure quite what caused that. But certainly the result is very obvious. 2 wheels on the grass coming into a braking zone is never going to end well for you. Sato now right on the back of Denise, dives up the inside. Does manage to make it stick, gets it clear through the corner. Does he have the run on exit? Just covers the inside a little bit.
He comes across the block. The BMW and race control are going to have a look at that, surely.
I don't like it. I'll give the race control that one for free. But it has invited Denise to try and go around the outside. It's very challenging around here, though, especially with the GT3 in the way. It's going to give them both headaches. I think you might be able to go with it if you saw Tor, just on the basis that it might just have been like I'm moving to the inside, not reflexive, but it certainly looked like a reactive block, and that is a big no-no. Still not through this yet. This has got 2 GT3s and LMP2 in front, and this wet curb on the apex you really want to avoid at all costs.
We're 3 wide momentarily as we're going to go down the straight. And, the LMP2 of, I believe that's Sebastian Mender, who will try not to get too involved in this as our leaders both go wide. No slowdowns through there, though, so we're both going to get away with it. Raymond Zanit, though, has picked up 16 incident points, by the way, so far in this race, and is pretty close to picking up a penalty.
I'll give Salto credit. That was clear, just very barely. Definitely pushing on the limit right now, wants to maintain this P1 at all costs. I think Denit's going to have something to say about it, though, as Salto goes super defensive early. Gets settled into braking, though, and should at least have enough clarity, enough space behind to not try and do anything crazy down this straight. But Denit has to be hot right now, and Steph can be looking for a way back through. Is the pace there to actually take that position back? Remains to be seen.
A move from the previous lap. Super late on the brakes to get down the inside.
And I want to see this, like, who moves first here?
Oh, it looks to me like the BMW does.
High race control, how are you doing? I'd like to report an incident. Well, about slow on track? Might have been nothing, might have been something, I'm not sure, but LP2 driver looking like it might have had an issue. As we look at even Vesca, who is currently dealing with a... I'm not sure whose car that is, actually.
Wide through L or what?
No. It was, I believe, out of the hairpin, so yeah, must have just had a moment. As black flag cleared for...
Neat. We've given a 20-second time penalty for causing a collision in the pit lane. That's a contact with the GT3, and that will be because he was running.
It is very rare when race control have to quote the iRacing sporting code for a penalty.
Side by side here, Brody Maynard and Mark Frederick. Frederick on the inside, Maynard on the outside, and Frederick is going to be ahead after they come at the hairpin.
Like, I will say, I think Denit got done a little bit dirty there, just on the basis that was a very hard swing from the GT3, but at the same time, like, you need to be in the fast lane for a reason. And that car was not in the fast lane. Either way, now on the back of Renek. Oh, that's a car backwards on track. I didn't
Maynard.
quite catch. Oh, no. The anti-stall racing car looks a bit stalled. That was terrible, and I will apologise, but...
And to Brody, already loose through here, so struggling for grip it looks like.
Very weird one. Does keep it off the track, which I do respect. Should find the reverse gear, backs it up, and then waits for the space to rejoin the track. Reed looks and the 808 of Mark Frederick under investigation for incident in lap 19. Sartor and Denise should be side by side on those deltas as we look at the helmet of Lionel out.
Well, the BMW has just gotten back ahead. Have a look. Oh, big lockup for the Cadillac, who went deep. Tried to stay ahead by keeping the inside line, but...
Yeah, BMW just has momentum, goes around the outside, makes the move stick, and
Sato should be aware.
Take that position for now.
Oh, I was going to say Sato should be aware of the penalty and not push too much. That's not going to be the case, and that's going to let Davy van der Vacker back through into the net lead, essentially, with the penalty that Denis has been given by race control.
That was... I don't know how Sartor still has a car and not a bucket of carbon fibre right now. That was an insane speed to have that wobble at. Managed to just about reel the car in, but... Yeah, Sartor just pushing too hard, trying to get that position back, and almost dumps it entirely, but again, that car's still going, so has a chance to reclaim that position. But yeah, slides all the way back down to third now in the space of a lap. On board with Pelacio Rodriguez is trying to get to the back of Tiemann Scholten, who's the car in front right now. Elsewhere, Renek is being challenged by Lionel Outs, and Denise has just been passed by Davy van der Vacker.
Side by side, our race leaders.
Outside. That's an insane move by van der Vacker. And just slides through like nothing's ever gone wrong in his life.
Off the track. It's all going wrong for our leaders. Nobody wants to lead this one. Davide Cheto has had an incident as well. What's happened to the Porsche driver? Pretty appears slow, actually. Yeah.
It just takes up a hairpin, but does manage to get it back up to speed. A little deep. And, oh, that's just a lazy spin as well. Sorenek still trying to get some distance between him and Allout, but Clockpipe Racing team driver having none of it right now. Definitely wants that podium. But as is tradition, especially in these spec cars, it's one thing to catch, it's another entirely to pass. But right now, I just think that 77 might have a little something extra. Tries to have a half a look down the inside there. Takes a huge chunk of water for his troubles. Probably gives up his opportunity to make a dive bomb into the hairpin. Looks too far back to my eyes. He's going to show the bumper and he's not going to do anything with it. Does a good job of closing up though through the corner despite that.
The battle for the final step on the podium, remember?
That would be an incident point black flag, I believe, for Taylor Donaldson.
It is just its 17X. And I'll tell you who else is showing us 17X on my screen is Raymond Denise. Don't believe has been a... Maybe something double counted. But has it?
Annoyingly, since the UI update, I don't actually know where to look for incident points anymore, which is rather annoying. Oh well. Oh, that's a rare one. Penalty for the 198, which is not a number I know off the top of my head. Forcing another driver off track.
Go into turn 1. Wrong a couple of times. Okay. 2. On the steering lock. And we're side by side, Leon Van Ellerwatt, trying to get a move down the inside into the hairpin.
Too deep
Yes,
on the brakes, I
ahead,
think.
but
That should be a
deep,
switch
yeah.
back opportunity.
Positive. And Denis has now been black flagged for incident points.
I think there might have been a little bit of tag from Federico Sartor there. I'm not sure if there's enough to make anything happen, but obviously, like, small contact in these cars can result in a 4X, so...
Was this 1X that led to the Alpha track there?
And I thought he might have got tagged there, which might have done it, but...
Was it
No,
was
that-
a little bit of 0X afterwards.
Not a good day for the pace is obviously there in that car, but just it's been caught up in a lot of trouble for a lot of different drivers, and
Quinton
now a
Vidal
drive
is
through
ahead of
incoming.
Sartor, but Sartor's going to go
Ooh.
back up the inside into the hairpin and get ahead, but will be a little bit loose on the exit, and they're going to be side by side of it down into the next corner. No, they're not, because Sartor is just about pulled ahead. But I'm not really sure how that all happened.
Donk's still chasing though. Definitely wants the position.
Oh, Sartor got all loose on the curb, on the exit behind his rival. But like Quinton Vidal temporarily ahead.
So then we'll see Sartor slide back in front, presumably at the hairpin, and Dunk once again chasing. Couple takers on pit road, including Raymond Denit and Liam de Kock.
Raymond Denit in for his drive-through penalty, I believe. What's happened to Poya?
That would
Poya
make more
off track
sense.
briefly, but has carried on.
Oh.
Only 3 seconds
Still has
now
the delta.
clear.
Oh, maybe not.
Was about 5 ahead.
Dominic Knockel's also got a black flag for instant points. I can't see what else it could be, so I'm assuming that's what it is.
Is looking at.
And could you look at that last corner? Really weird. I think the GT3 turned on him.
Mark Frederick not happy about something. Sartor's still able to hold off for Dunk, but Van der Vacker able to pull away into the distance as it stands right now. Almost 5 seconds the gap between P1 and P2 in GTP. Poya has led.
Mark, your front diffuser was barely along, front split was barely alongside the GT3. You were not there. GT3 just turned in for that corner.
Average Andy responds to any.
No, it is very rare that race control actually say no, screw you over radio. That is Andy saying, I've had enough of your nonsense. Please race the race.
De Verdonk trying to get the move done, catches the gravel on the outside, trying to get the power down as both of them are wide here. Frederick briefly slow there in the final sector, but no real time loss, I think just early. New speed for Verdonk.
Oh, gets very close on the
Oh, and
braking.
he's down the inside, there's contact on the exit of the hairpin.
I think Verdonk did a good job there, just getting that car checked up fully, make sure he doesn't take anyone out, including himself. I think if he put his foot down there like he'd just taken the corner only, that would have been both their races ending in a blender, but as it stands right now, we're able to fight on.
Willebrook into the pits, and that is scheduled service, so that's the final stop for...
Definitely in range to make it to the finish line from here.
Going to Verdonk, close again.
Looks very good under braking right now, I'll say that much for the Dutchman. Question of can you keep that gap through the corners? It looks like they're sliding through there almost. Might be a trick of the light, but certainly been a struggle to get power down through a lot of these corners for a lot of these drivers, so wouldn't surprise me. But Zalta able to hold off the dunk through the first few corners at least. The GT3 will definitely help Sartor get a bit of a buffer here.
Big help there, because Quinton Verdonk can't clear the BMW, and that's going to cost him speed all the way down the straight. Wow, Sebastian van der Heuvel is right on the back of Carlos Bozapoya.
Is that... There must be something wrong with that. Dallara for Bozapoya obviously had the lead of this race in hand, and right now is struggling massively.
Well, this is the most recent 1X he's picked up, and he nearly ran into the back of the GT ahead, actually. A few ago. Running wide, I think he's just struggling for grip, so yeah, I don't know if there's damage on that car. Back to line. Now Daniel Morphy into the pits from final stop of the race. It's really struggling for you
definitely. Yeah. Obviously, if it is tyres are damaged, you need to make another pit stop anyway. You should have a fast repair still. I don't think Bozapoya would have... There's been an instance that would require a fast repair. And if it is tyres, you can obviously take tyres there.
Damage on that car that I can see anyway.
Unless Van der Heuvel's found something magic in these last few minutes to really close this gap up. They are both 30 seconds clear of second place right now, so definitely a two-horse race up front in the LMP2s as it stands, but it's a very close two-horse race.
Quinton Verdonk down the inside into the hairpin, but he's going to run deep, and Sartor's going to get an exit. So what is going to be the play down into the hairpin? But he stays ahead, actually, Quinton Verdonk, not into the next braking zone, I should say. And is the Cadillac going to be strong enough on the brakes to send it back down the inside? No, he's not. Quinton Verdonk is ahead. I think that's a very good opportunity for Quinton Verdonk to stay ahead now.
I think that move was on for a while. It's a question of when it was actually come to fruition. As Bozapoya still under pressure from Van der Heuvel. Gets very close under braking, but there's just no way through as it stands right now.
My only query here is whether... When did Poya actually end up pitting? 28 minutes and 58 seconds, so I don't think he'll be able to make it to the end from there. Wondering whether he's trying to fuel save to get to the end, but I don't think that.
Yeah, I think it's not worth the risk, as I was saying earlier. Like,
especially when you're leading the race, like why take the risk when you know the others don't have to do it?
When you're leading the race by a substantial margin as well, like he was earlier, but right now Van der Heuvel is definitely trying to take that fact away.
Significantly quicker, but quicker on the last lap. By half a second, actually. Boy, so I think he could be on into the hairpin this time by. He just looks to be struggling for grip. We're watching it. Van der Heuvel behind seems to be able to just a little bit more bite on the front end. It's doing more of what he wants, especially helping him set the car up better for the next section. The brakes, the straight line speed still seems to be quite good at Rincon Racing car.
Cheeky little flash there from Van der Heuvel. I'm not sure what that was about.
Distracting flash more than anything.
Just trying to keep him in check right now. Alex Ott goes into the pit from lead of GT3 Pro.
Quinton Verdonk, by the way, is pulling away from Sartor and is eating into the lead of Davy van der Ackers on that race.
Van der Moerbroek was basically parked on the outside of the hairpin. Not sure what that was about, but
lock up.
He's got
Got
it
the
in.
rear,
Oh, just a little bit too deep. And unfortunately, that GT3 just wasn't able to get the car turned properly. But that's just a very hard thing to do. That. So as much as Van der Poel was able to close up, it doesn't look like he's able to like stay that close with Bozapoya. So I'm not sure where the pace actually lies for the Spaniard, because it does seem like. But what would you be backing up for? Because that is an insane amount of fuel save you need to do to get it on a one-stop, and I'm not sure it's
He's doing the
worthwhile.
one
But
stop because like. Hard for me to believe that that is what's going on here, because even though
Yes.
drop off in pace seems to suggest that, I think even though we did get so close, the formation lap was not a full formation lap, and not pushing at all. I can't believe what's going on here. It's a big risk to take, like you said. No one behind is doing the one stop. You know that already. Why take the risk yourself?
But if there is a problem with the car, why has Bozapoya been able to hold on? And I don't know, and I don't think I will ever know, because I will probably forget all about this about 30 minutes after we finish up the session. But for now,
Elort into the pit lane from.
So it goes for like what would you call the standard strategy. Even Vesco will pit from the lead in GT3M as well. It's just about on the money, 25 minutes per stint.
Present an opportunity here for Sebastian.
It's still not be enough though, because he's going to get closed up on exit. Yeah. It's still not clear of the GT3 either.
Problem with these limited LMP2s, can't get the power down on exit even compared. Van der Vacker and Quinten Verdonk both into the pit lane. Sato carries on for one more. Do on the previous stint.
Obviously, this is the one where the amount of fuel you take in is going to really determine how long you spend on pit road. So, interested to see what these pit times actually end up being for these drivers.
Be interesting to see if either of these two come in this lap as well. The pace difference suggests Sebastian should try and pit on a different lap to Boyer, but they both stay out again.
So Van der Vacker 26 seconds line to line, Verdonk 27. Denit's also taken service, I believe, and is another second slower still. So I think Van der Vacker might be playing the fuel game on the edge, but obviously once Sartor pits, and Sartor should need to pit. We'll see what that gap actually ends up being as we go.
Get an overtake, but it's going to be a pit exit overtake. There it is.
It's going to be on track, just about.
Gets past Jonas Schneider,
who has disconnected. That is weird. Either way, Sartor takes to the pit lane from the lead of GTP. Elo out.
stayed in the pit lane.
Still in the pit lane, actually.
Probably out of this one. Get a pit 5 from either our LMP2. Sato will come out in 4, actually.
I think that might have been full service for the car. It's still on pit road as far as I can tell.
Down to P5 now, Sato. Done a Maynard and left the tyres ticked.
I don't remember the service being this long for tyres and fuel though, but Yeah, it's been a hot second since I've been in a race car, I have to admit. Either way, yeah, whatever Sartor's done, it has put him very far back in the order. And no real way of closing that gap in the amount of time remaining. 7 minutes and change left on the timer. Is Van der Heuvel still trying to chase down Klaas Bozepoye for the lead in LP2? Scholten claims unsafe rejoin.
It's not.
So Patrick Stanek has been off and found the barrier.
Copy.
Why he's not too happy with that. Stan?
No, I think that was fine. He was off of the racing line at the point where Revan got up to speed and then took the corner. I think that's fine. By the way, Bozepoye and Van der Heuvel both in the pit lane at the same time. Please don't hit each other. Please. I might have to just
boxes are going to be right next to each other.
It's more the fact that, you know, the part in the Irish Sporting Code where it says use the fast lane.
Well, Poya pulls ahead very early there. Going to be long gone by the time Sebastian leaves the pit lane.
That's an insane launch.
Short stop as well for Poya. His sake that you feel up enough there.
3 seconds faster I have down there for Bozepoye versus Van der Heuvel, so... And unfortunately, I think that's rather quieted down the race a bit. We had focused on that for so long. To be fair, Alex Ott is hunting down the back bumper of Daniel Morphy in this final run. They've both taken their final stop, and Jack Reed's been spun. Only a half spin, should be able to get it back going again okay, but... It's going to go up the inside here. Should get it stopped in time. Does get it stopped in time, slots down the order, and hasn't been spun. That's just a little bit too aggressive on the throttle, I think. Let's look at Brady Maynard sailing by as well. Maynard, who's actually on the back of Van der Mulbrook, who's not too far away from Jack Reed after that spin, so still something to race for these drivers in these dying moments of the
Maynard
race.
there clears that BMW GT3 car, allowing to stay on the back of Van der Mulbrook.
Just going to be a little bit of waiting here for Maynard. Needs to find an opportunity to actually make the pass, and you're not going to get it for a while. Ooh, that is not a great launch there. That's going to really put the Brit on the back foot, and Van der Mulbrook should be safe at least for one hairpin. Goes around one of the clogged pipe racing LMP2s.
Second place, Sebastian Van der Heuvel left out on track. Falling away even more from Poya, so I think Poya, whatever struggles he was having before, maybe cleared, maybe just had less fuel than land on had. Probably, maybe was trying to one-stop it actually, and that's why that
Fredericks! That was a weird one. I think Frederick just got too loud on the pedal from the look of it, but Race Control just gonna have a look just to make sure they're happy with it. Because he's gonna get stuck behind here, takes the high side through the banking.
No, just turns himself
I think just just squeezes down too much, and that just frees the car up though. Yeah.
Jack Reed is out of the race.
Jack Reed is struggling to stay in the race, I think. I think that might have been a connection blip.
Maynard back on the back of the BMW once again, struggling to stay in touch. Good through the rest of the lap. Ivan Veska runs P2. We're not really touched on GT3. It's been kind of spaced out. Luca Picardi leads in the BMW. The Veska,
Wait, hold on.
Scholten, Donaldson.
That's not the way around it was. Veska was leading by a healthy margin.
Oh.
And Picardi shuffled to the front, and I'm not sure how.
Picardi pitted earlier, a lot earlier than Veska did. I think that was just pit cycles.
Oh, Veska took a minute in pit lane. I think there might have been some tyres taken there for Veska.
Mark Frederick. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Mark Frederick off in the wall. That turn 1, I believe it is.
Yeah, that's a huge hit there. I'm surprised that car's able to keep going from the looks of it, but...
All over the curb on the entry, and that's what unsettled. W, sorry.
Yeah, that's... Not
Carrying
as bad as it
on.
looks, but...
It could have been a
yes.
lot bigger impact. Got very lucky today.
Yes. I'm surprised that car's still able to drive as well as it is, quite frankly.
Alex
but...
Ott here really harassing Daniel Morphy as they make their way through the lap traffic, and the BMW does not know where to go. He gets out the way of the leaders in his class, and we're side by side behind. That's Frederick and Sartor as well going at it again.
And with traffic now a problem, I think these guys are going to get very aggressive. There's barely any time left in the race. Van der Wack will take
I think there was
white flag
contact
just
there, was
now.
there?
Oh, I don't think there was, but it's getting very aggressive,
Well,
and the GT3
Daniel
behind not very
Morphy.
happy.
Oh, in the lapped car. Wow. We'll let race control look at that, I think. Yeah.
I don't know why this race has just suddenly exploded, but here we are anyway.
Here we go. Let's take a look from the chopper. So Sartor nearly collects Alex Ott. Sorry, Frederick
Does a
nearly
good job of
collects
staying
Alex
out
Ott, yeah.
of the way. GT3 then got to the bump,
C lap 39 for number 35. Thank you.
who is Kaysen?
White flag this time by. Oh, and we've got a car off in the background. That's Frederick off in turn 1 again. And if we got 3 cars battling for position here, all of a sudden, we do. It's Jack Reed, Brodie Maynard, and Frederick Sartor going at it for P4.
All right, let's get this all the way now. Congratulations to Van der Wacker and Verdonk and Raymond Denique for finishing on the podium. I think that's pretty much settled at this point.
It's not a lock-up, it's water. Apologies for
I
interrupting
think we're
you
stuck
there,
on this
Alice.
battle for P4.
Davey Van der Wacker takes the win. Quinton Verdonk is 5 seconds behind. He will take P2. The podium will be completed by Raymond Denique, you'd have to say at this point, but this is the battle for P4, and it's a banged-up Jack Reed that currently leads the pack, and it's a hungry Brodie Maynard who sits behind. They're passing the GT3 leaders now.
I'll get the checkered flag before I've been into the pits like the entire direction.
Oh, Brodie
Frederick
Maynard gets a
has a-
hard spin and collects Alex Ott.
So you just take the checkered flag and then focus race.
Oh, Brodie Maynard is going to be heartbroken on the last lap. Will drop down to P9. He was fighting for P4.
Andy, please check last lap.
He asked for it to be
What
looked
the hell
at.
is going on? That's my
free
question. What the
wide.
hell
That's
is
not
going
going to
on?
end well as the
Goodbye.
LMP2 makes the smart decision to back out there.
Oh, why
it's
does this keep happening?
That's Teeman Scholten who runs P4 and Mark
could you
Frederick.
check the last few corners because that's crazy. I was still at the inside.
Mark
Frederick
Frederick is going
comes
to take
in.
the checkered flag through the pit road.
Mark, you were good. Mark,
Well, he's trying to reduce how much time he loses. I think you reduce
Yeah,
the
no problem,
the
mate.
black flag time, don't you, if you come in.
I don't think you do.
35-second time penalty over. What? That all just
I
went
think
to
I
complete
speak-
chaos at the end.
I think I speak for everybody, and I mean everybody involved, everybody watching, race control, myself and yourself. What the bloody hell just happened in the last 5
What a
minutes?
comeback, guys. What a
Well,
comeback.
Brodie Maynard will feel like he left plenty of room now.
Wala, Luca. I failed in the pit entry, man.
we'll give congratulations where they're due. Van der Vacker, Carlos Bozapoya managed to hold on in the LMP2, and Daniel Morphy does get it ahead of Alex Ott in the end in GT3 Pro, Cardi Vesga on your GT3 AM podium. But I think the race is not over, because I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of angry people putting in a lot of protests about stuff that's happened, or race control are going to have just to look at like everything for the next 10 minutes. So we're going to show you the standings right now. These are all provisional. I don't know what's going to happen. Please check back on our website, which is antistallracing.com. For future results when we get them out.
Antistall.racing.
Antistall, that's a very nice URL, and I should remember it.
Okay, here we go. Your Antistall Racing IMSA Series this is what we want to look at. GT3 AM. The race was won by Luca Picardi by 22 seconds ahead of Ivan Vesca, Taylor Donaldson, Simon Schultz and Patrick Stanek make up your top 5. Then Diego Palcio Rodriguez, the only other driver to acquired 80% race distance to score points. GT3 Pro, your race winner in the end was Daniel Morphy. He came down essentially to the last lap nearly with Alex Ott, ahead of Oystein Hereford, Kevin Versandvoort, Vincent Ossoms, Callum Lux, Dominic Knockel, Leon Erger, Leon de Kock, Raphael Heck make up your top 10. Alessandro Vici, Jonas Schneider. I don't think Casper. So no points for Casper today on his return to 3. LMP2, the race was won by Carlos Bozapoya ahead of Sebastian van der Hoover, Daniel Renault, Ben Gronevel and Leon Van Ellerwatt 9 laps down in the end. Not take either. Then GTP, your race winner, Davy van der Vacker, by 5 seconds in the end, ahead of Quinton. Oh, what a crazy race we had in GT. Raymond Denit once led the race, finished P3 on the road, has a penalty to serve, but actually, that's a 20-second time penalty. Seconds ahead of Jack Reed, so will actually. Frederick Sarter finished P5 on the road, ahead of Vincent Brooker, Davide Aceto, Brody Main, Fred 9, Albert Primo, Juan Maynard 24 and 40 effectively. Right, that was absolute chaos. I do mean absolute chaos. The other updates, I'm not seeing anything from Ray.
We just got a 15-second time penalty for Simon Schultz for causing a collision. This is, yes.
We did, yeah. Look at he's 22 seconds ahead of a car behind him, though, so that won't make any difference. That would be that last lap collision, though, that Frederick was on the radio complaining about.
Oh, that was... yeah.
Back down to the correct channel now. Okay. Right. Well, that was chaos. Anybody that enjoyed it up to the final lap, I don't know if anybody enjoyed the final lap. Please, if you're not already, hit that subscribe button and like on the video. It does make it's to us. And if you fancy joining us for the rest of the races, I promise you, they're all pretty exciting. Pretty much like what we had today. If you do fancy joining us, head over to the website. There's only been 2 races, so a drop round will cover one of those rounds, so you won't lose out. You'll only like you've missed one race, really, if you were to join us now. We've got a banging schedule coming up. We're back next week at Imola, then we've got a week off for a doubleheader at Silverstone and Belle Isle, and then another break week for Suzuka 1000 before we head into a triple header at Mexico, Monza, and season finale. It really is a great calendar season. You head over to the website and grab your entry. Our team and a member of staff answer any questions you have. Yeah, Alice, what did you think of that one? Pretty crazy. And I think we'll probably get a bit more of it next week.
Yeah, I think we successfully avoided the crash out purely because I'm too confused as to what the hell just happened to actually be angry about anything. So
we got pretty close in qualifying. Actually.
Oh, we did. But
all right. Thank you to everybody that joined us then, and we'll see you next